We are deep into the business end of the season. While the results on the pitch has been a roller coaster, the noise off field is reaching a fever pitch. From £100 million raise from Morgan Rogers to a massive tug of war for the next big defensive anchor. We have a lot to break down today. But before we get into it, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. But if you have been following me for a while, you know the drills. Help your boy get to that 10k subscriber mark. Let's dive into it. We have seen the reports circulating, and it looks like there is a definitive shift in how we are approaching this summer window. After seasons of focusing almost exclusively on potential, the board seems to be waking up to the reality of what this board actually looks like. According to Kenan Gill, it's expected that Chelsea will target experience this summer, players who are proven in the Premier League. The supporters are skeptical, adamant that they have heard this tale before, but it's what's needed if the club are ever to get over this hurdle. And I'll be honest with you, I'm right here with the skeptics. We have heard this exact tale before, and honestly, I'll simply believe it when I see it. Until then, they are waffling. But I have to admit, if they actually follow through and bring in that veteran presence, then the fans might start to believe again. It's not just about the age on the passports. We are seeing a specific profile emerge regarding the physical makeup of our targets. According to Alex Crook and Ben Jacobs, Chelsea are prepared to sign more experienced players this summer and potentially older ones as a consequence. They are actually looking for height and strength. This isn't just a general desire for big guys either. It's a tactical necessity. We know we need a constant presence at the back, especially after missing out on certain targets to our rivals. Ben Jacob adds, Chelsea are prioritizing height and strength as they look for a partner for Levi Colwill, having lost out to Liverpool for Jeremy Jacques. We need someone who can dominate in the air and provide that security next to Levi Colwill so he can develop his game. However, there is nuance to this talk. David Ornstein has weighed in, and his update suggests it's less about the date of birth and more about the mentality. According to him, Chelsea have plans to improve their squad this summer. They are looking for greater emotional resilience and maturity, players who are ready to start and impact straight away. This isn't necessarily saying older or more experienced, players who are used to playing in the Premier League. It's just players who hit above the criteria. This is the hurdle we keep talking about. We need players who won't shrink when the light is bright at Stamford Bridge. Whether they are 21 or 31, if they have the emotional resilience and maturity, we finally have a chance to see these projects move forward. But moving on, we have to talk about the name that is absolutely dominating headline right now. Morgan Rogers. It feels like the entire bracket of European football is waking up to what we potentially missed out last year. The brace is eating up and the price tag is reaching astronomical levels. According to Jason Brott, Morgan Rogers is expected to be the Premier League most in-demand player this summer, with a near £100 million race developing between Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea, PSG. All four clubs are keen on buying him, who would cost close to £100 million when add-ons are factored in. And I'll be the first to say it. It's not the first time we are flirting with Morgan Rogers. We have been here before. We have looked, we have admired, but we didn't pull the trigger when the opportunity was right in front of us. To be honest, I don't trust this board to get this over the line. They are incompetent. We are sitting here looking at a £100 million price tag, but we should have paid last summer. But instead, we saw the typical pattern. Let's go for the cheaper option. And where has that brought us? It brought us to a position where we are forced into spending even more money just to fix a mistake we should have avoided months ago. The reason these interests have intensified is that our current situation on the franc is currently not working. We went into the market looking for a spark, but the outputs just haven't matched the expectation. We need a profile that can actually impact the game from the jump. As reported by the Telegraph, Chelsea wants a left winger, primarily with Jamie Gutings having so far been a disappointment, and we were along with Arsenal among the club who registered an interest in Morgan Rogers last summer. The fact that we are back at the table for Morgan Rogers proved the initial valuation was right, but the execution was flawed. We are seeing a pattern where we register interest but fail to close, only to watch the player's value double, while our current options struggle to find form. If we are serious about competing at the top level, we can't keep being the club that almost signed the league most in-demand player. We need that clinical edge in the boardroom just as much as we need it on the pitch. If we lose out to United or Arsenal for a player we are tracking a year ago, it's going to be a very bitter pill to swallow for us. But moving on, the defensive merry-go-round continues, and the latest name in the center of it all is Bournemouth's Marcus Sessi. We have seen his stock rise significantly, and it seems a decision on his future is imminent. According to Matteo Morito, Marcus Sessi is about to choose his next team. Agents in contact with Chelsea, Tottenham and Manchester United. These are the three favorites. Murillo followed up Chelsea and Spurs. Then Manchester United is a little bit far behind. Sessi will choose either next week or the week after. We also have Alex Crook and Ben Jacobs confirming that the player himself is looking for a quick resolution to avoid a drawn-out summer saga. Marcus Sessi is hoping to agree terms with a new club before the season ends. He's being tracked by Italian clubs, but there is also Premier League interest from Chelsea, Tottenham and Manchester United. But this is where things get interesting and the narrative starts to split. While some are reporting us as favorites, others are claiming we have cooled down our interest. Ben Jacobs notes the shift in our stance. Chelsea has a historical interest in Sessi from January, but are not expected to revisit it as it stands. Furthering that point, Nizar Cancela suggests we are looking for a different profile entirely to complement our core defensive unit. Chelsea are not expected to move for Sessi. Chelsea would like to bring in a better partner with physicality for highly regarded Levi Colwill when he's back. And I have to keep it real with you. I think Sessi is good, but I also think the board are good in making themselves look good. We have seen this pattern constantly. When a deal falls through and suddenly the briefs come out saying we aren't interested anyway. Personally, I think Sessi rejected Chelsea, but the boards like covering their backs. It feels like a classic damage control. I don't believe anything coming from this PR merchant. Right now, if a player of his quality is available and we are desperate for defensive reinforcement, the idea that we walked away because of profile feels like a convenient excuse. It's the same old story. Bring the briefing on why the squad still has gaps. But moving on, we are heading into a massive window and the defensive shortlist is starting to take shape. It's clear that the board are looking for a very specific profile to anchor our backline for the long term. According to the Guardian, Chelsea are preparing a big summer and have shortlisted Nottingham Forest defender Murillo. They have been linked with Brighton, Paul van Hecke. When you look at the data of the 2025-2026 season, these two represent two different philosophies of defending. On paper, Van Hecke is the perfect fit for what we are trying to build under Liam Rosenior. He's an absolute architect on the ball. We are talking about a player in the 98th percentile for progressive passes and the 99th percentile for progressive carries. In our current 3-2-5-1 build-up, we need defenders who have the bravery to carry the ball into the midfield and create overload. Van Hecke doesn't just defend, he initiates the attack. If we want tactical dominance, an elite build-up matrix, he's the transformative signing. He's by every definition a Rosenior defender. However, I like Murillo more. While Van Hecke gives us the polish, Murillo gives us the power. He's a high ceiling stopper with a recovery pace of 34.4 km per hour. In Rosenior's system, our centre back are often left on an island during transition. Murillo's elite physicality makes him the ultimate insurance policy. He's a bruiser who can dominate 1v1 situation and neutralize the league's most dangerous wingers. Plus, his ability to switch play with long balls give us a different dimension in possession. It's a classic debate of tactical dominance versus physical security. Statistically, Van Hecke progression matrix makes him the logical choice for a heavy possession-based side like ours. He matches the technical security of Levi Colwill and would make our build-up play almost impossible to press. But personally, I'm leaning towards Murillo. We have seen us get bullied too many times, and having a left-footed powerhouse who can cover ground that quickly is a profile we simply don't have. We need that emotional resilience that Ornstein mentioned, and Murillo plays with an aggression that set the tone for the whole team. But I want to hear from you. Who are you picking? Do we go for the technical brilliance of Van Hecke to perfect the system, or do we bring in the Brazilian one, that is Murillo, to shore up the defense? Let me know in the comment section. But moving on, just when we thought the board are finally pivoting towards experience, a new name has entered the fray that completely contradicts the narrative. We are now being heavily linked with one of the most sought-after teenagers in Europe. According to Florian Plettenberg, Chelsea has entered the race for the 18-year-old talented centre-back Karim Koulibaly, who is seen as a top talent with huge potential. Chelsea are very impressed with his development. His summer move is 100% planned. Several top clubs are scouting him, including Real Madrid, Manchester United, Newcastle, PSG and Napoli. Whether Bremen are hoping for a fee of 40 to 50 million euros. And honestly, I'm going to be straight with you. This signing doesn't make sense to me. We are hearing the experienced talk, but this isn't the experienced players the board keep yapping about. It feels like we are stuck in the loop. We already have a lot of young centre back in the club when you look at the talents we have in the books. And Anselmino, Sa, Achampong, even Hato, who can slot in there. Then you have to wonder, where is the space for another 18 years old? We are talking about spending another 40 to 50 million euros on potential, while our starting 11 is crying out for leadership and Premier League proven quality. If we bring in Koulibaly, we are just stockpiling more wonder kits, while the huddle Austin mentioned stays in front of us. How many teenagers do we need before we realize that a squad of 20 years old can't manage the emotional resilience required to compete for titles? It feels like the recruitment team and the board are reading from two different scripts. And with that said, that's the end of the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. It go be.